Comfort is killing your potential. It is a slow, insidious killer. Every day, every hour, it whispers in your ear, inviting you to rest, to take it easy, to put off the hard work, to settle for what's good enough. But let me tell you something. The easy path you think is making your life better is robbing you of everything that you could be. You're not just stagnating, you're actively moving backward. While you lounge in your comfort zone, thinking you're safe, you're slowly dying inside. Your growth, your evolution, your potential, all of it is slipping away. The world doesn't stop when you choose comfort. The world is relentless, constantly moving forward. While you're resting, someone else is grinding, pushing, and clawing their way to the top. While you're settling for mediocrity, someone else is reaching for greatness. Every moment you spend coasting, someone is taking your spot. Someone is doing the work you refuse to do. They're breaking the limits you're too afraid to even challenge. This is the cruel truth. Comfort is not your ally. It is your enemy. And the worst part? You're not just letting it happen. You're actively participating in your own mediocrity. There's a lie that we tell ourselves, and it's the most dangerous lie we'll ever believe. I'll start tomorrow. How many times have you said that? How many times have you told yourself that you'll make a change, but you'll start it tomorrow, next week, next year? Here's the thing. The truth is, there is no tomorrow. There is only now. Every second you waste, every minute you spend putting off the work you know you need to do, is another second lost in your journey. It's time you'll never get back. And every second wasted compounds, pulling you further away from your dreams. There's a moment in every person's life when they are faced with the truth. It's that moment when you look in the mirror and you no longer just see your reflection. You see the reality of who you've become. For some, it comes late at night, when the world is still and the silence is deafening. For others, it strikes in broad daylight, when you least expect it, in the midst of an ordinary day. You realize, this is who I am now. Is this who I wanted to be? That moment defines us. It either crushes us or pushes us forward. And that's the point where you must decide. Will you accept mediocrity or rise up to your true potential? Now let me share something with you that most people will never grasp. Success isn't about what you achieve. It's about who you become in the process of achievement. It's not just the destination that matters. It's the journey. It's the person you evolve into while you push toward that goal. And that person, well, they're determined by what you do every single day when no one else is watching. The truth is, it's easy to want success. Everyone wants success. But the real question isn't whether you want it. It's whether you're willing to become the person capable of achieving it. Think about yesterday. Really think about it. What time did you wake up? What was the first thing you did? Did you roll out of bed and go straight into your day? Or did you hit snooze for another 10 minutes, telling yourself you'll just rest for a little longer? What did you do with those precious morning hours? Did you scroll through social media, consuming the lives of others, while your own life slipped away? These aren't just random questions. These are the building blocks of your future. Every choice, no matter how small, either pushes you toward excellence or pulls you toward mediocrity. There is no neutral ground. You're either moving forward or you're moving backward. You're either growing or you're dying. The gap between where you are and where you want to be isn't measured in miles. It's measured in decisions, small decisions. seemingly insignificant choices that you make every day. And guess what? No one sees these decisions. No one applauds them. No one criticizes them. But these decisions build up, drop by drop, until they form a mighty river. They shape your future in ways you can't yet understand. These small, unseen decisions are what will determine whether you become a winner or stay stuck in mediocrity. True winners understand something the rest of the world doesn't. Success is not a destination you arrive at one day. It's the natural consequence of consistently making the harder right choice instead of the easier wrong one. It's choosing growth over comfort, every day, every hour, without exception. It's about getting up when the alarm goes off and deciding that today will be the day you push yourself just a little bit more than you did yesterday. When that alarm rings, it's not just a wake-up call. It's a decision point. Will you rise with purpose, or will you roll over and give in to your comfort zone? And here's where the rubber meets the road. How many of us are actively seeking discomfort? How many of us are pushing ourselves into situations that challenge us, that force us to grow? Most people spend their entire lives avoiding discomfort, trying to stay in the safety of their comfort zones, and then wonder why they're stuck. They wonder why they haven't reached the heights they desire. Comfort is the prison you've locked yourself in. The bars are invisible, but they're real. And until you break free from them, you will never realize your true potential. Let me be clear. Your comfort zone is not meant to be a permanent place of residence. It's a place to visit occasionally, but it's not where you're meant to live. Living in your comfort zone is a slow death to your potential. Every time you choose comfort over growth, you're writing the story of your own mediocrity. But every time you choose discomfort, you're writing the story of your greatness. So ask yourself this: what would your life look like if you pushed yourself just 1% harder every single day? Not 100%. That's unsustainable. But just one more rep. One more minute of focus. One more call. That one extra push might not seem like much in the moment, but when you add it up over a week, a month, a year, suddenly you'll look back and realize you've built something extraordinary. The biggest mistake people make is waiting for motivation. They think they need to feel motivated before they take action. But that's backward. Action comes first. Motivation follows. You don't need to feel ready. You don't need to feel confident. You don't need to wait for the perfect moment. You just need to decide right now that you will push yourself every single day, no matter how you feel. Your life, everything in it, is the result of the decisions you've made up until now. Your health, your relationships, your career, your finances, it's all the outcome of the choices you've made. So, if you want different results, you need to make different decisions. And here's the most powerful part. You can make a new decision at any moment. Right now, you can decide to become the person who pushes themselves every day. You can decide to stop waiting for permission, for validation, for perfect conditions. The question isn't, what do I want? The real question is, what am I willing to go through to get what I want? Success isn't about what you want. It's about what you're willing to endure. It's about what you're willing to sacrifice. It's about how much you're willing to push when everything inside you screams to stop. Every day is a battle between who you are and who you could become. You're either growing or you're dying. There is no in between. And here's the hard truth. Your potential will always exceed your performance. No matter how far you've come, no matter how much you've accomplished, there's always another level. But getting there requires consistent, deliberate, uncomfortable effort. Most people only operate at 40% of their true potential. They do just enough to get by, enough to avoid criticism, enough to keep up appearances. Don't be one of them. Winners know that 40% is self-betrayal. Every time you operate below your potential, you're betraying your future. The moment you feel resistance, that's not a sign to stop. That's a sign that you're about to level up. Discomfort is a signal of growth. When you feel resistance, when you feel fear, that's when you know you're on the verge of something great. Winners know this. They embrace discomfort because it forges them into something stronger. The question you must ask yourself is, am I willing to become the warrior I was meant to be? The warrior chooses the battle, not the comfort. The warrior doesn't wait for the perfect conditions. They create them. They push themselves every day, no matter the circumstances. They choose growth, no matter how painful. They rise every time, and they rise stronger. Will you choose the same? Lesson 1. Recognize the power of small decisions. Key concept. Every choice you make shapes your future. The first step in breaking free from your comfort zone is understanding that every decision matters. Every small, seemingly insignificant choice you make today is contributing to your future. The act of choosing between comfort and growth, between easy and hard, between now and later. These decisions, though seemingly minor, are actually the building blocks of your destiny. This is where the real battle takes place, in the small, daily decisions that no one notices. The most successful people understand that these small moments accumulate over time and eventually shape the course of their lives. Each decision, whether it's deciding to wake up on time or to tackle a difficult task instead of procrastinating, is a moment that either takes you closer to your potential or pushes you further away from it. The key here is awareness. If you can become aware of the importance of these small decisions, you can begin to actively choose growth, even in the most mundane moments. You stop operating on autopilot and start making deliberate choices that align with your goals. How to implement? Start each day by making one small, tough decision that pushes you outside your comfort zone. Whether it's waking up when your alarm rings, choosing to go for a run instead of hitting the snooze button, or tackling that challenging email instead of putting it off. Make it a non-negotiable part of your morning routine. Over time, these small wins will compound and shift your mindset to prioritize growth over comfort. When faced with decisions throughout the day, ask yourself, is this pushing me toward excellence or pulling me toward mediocrity? This could be as simple as choosing to spend 30 minutes learning a new skill instead of mindlessly scrolling through your phone. When you can recognize the choices that matter most, you become empowered to choose the path that leads to growth. Keep a journal of your daily decisions for 1 week. Track the small choices you make and reflect on whether they're moving you closer to your goals or reinforcing your current comfort zone. This exercise helps to build self-awareness and offers insight into areas of your life where you may be subconsciously choosing comfort over growth. Use this information to begin adjusting your daily habits. By focusing on the small decisions and choosing growth even in seemingly insignificant moments, you begin to shift your entire life trajectory. Recognizing the power of small decisions is the foundation upon which every other lesson is built. When you take control of your choices, you take control of your life. And once you realize that, the process of pushing past your limits becomes much easier to sustain. Lesson 2. Embrace discomfort as a growth signal. Key concept. Discomfort is a signal of growth. The path to success is not a smooth one. It's not about finding ease and comfort. It's about stepping into the unknown and willingly embracing the discomfort that comes with change. Discomfort is one of the most powerful indicators of growth. It's a sign that you are stretching yourself, challenging your limits, and stepping beyond what is familiar to you. The moment you feel discomfort, that is the moment when transformation is happening. It's when you push past your comfort zone that you begin to break through the barriers that have kept you stagnant. Most people shy away from discomfort because it feels unpleasant. The truth is, our minds are wired to seek pleasure and avoid pain. However, in the modern world, this survival mechanism often prevents us from reaching our full potential. You must retrain your mind to view discomfort not as a threat, but as a valuable signal that you're moving in the right direction. It's like the burn you feel when you lift heavy weights. At first, it's painful, but over time, that discomfort leads to strength and growth. Understanding that discomfort equals growth requires a shift in perspective. Instead of trying to avoid it, seek it out. Challenge yourself to lean into discomfort. When you start looking for opportunities to push yourself beyond what's comfortable, you'll discover new levels of strength and resilience you didn't even know you had. How to implement. Seek out discomfort intentionally. When you're presented with the option to take the easy route, choose the harder path. If you feel the resistance in your body or mind telling you to avoid something, that's your cue to move toward it. Whether it's taking on a tough project at work, signing up for a challenging fitness program, or engaging in difficult conversations, these moments of discomfort are opportunities to grow. Reframe discomfort as a positive force. The next time you feel uncomfortable, whether it's a physical challenge, a mental hurdle, or an emotional obstacle, remind yourself that it's not a sign to stop. It's a signal that you are progressing, that you are evolving. Reframe discomfort as evidence that you're on the right track. Instead of running from it, ask yourself, what can I learn from this? How can I use this discomfort to become better? Push yourself beyond your current limits. One of the best ways to embrace discomfort is to set goals that are just beyond your current capabilities. If you're working out, challenge yourself to push for one more rep, run one more lap, or increase your weight. In your personal and professional life, push yourself to tackle bigger challenges, speak in public, or take on projects that intimidate you. This is how you build resilience, by stretching your limits and breaking through the discomfort. Change your mindset about failure. When you feel discomfort, it's easy to equate it with failure. But it's important to recognize that failure and discomfort are part of the process. Failure isn't a sign to quit. It's a learning experience. Discomfort means you're on the verge of something greater. Failures, setbacks, and challenges are not the end. They're just the growing pains you need to go through in order to reach the next level. Develop a discomfort tolerance. The more you expose yourself to discomfort, the easier it becomes to handle. Over time, you'll develop a higher tolerance for discomfort, meaning you'll be able to push yourself further and further without being overwhelmed. Just like physical training increases your muscle endurance, emotional and mental discomfort increases your capacity for growth. When you choose to embrace discomfort, you no longer see it as something to fear. Instead, You recognize it as a necessary step toward becoming stronger, more capable, and more successful. Discomfort becomes not just something to endure, but something to seek out. The more you grow comfortable with being uncomfortable, the more unstoppable you become. Remember, the path to greatness is not found in ease. It's forged in the fire of challenge, discomfort, and persistence. Keep pushing yourself. Keep leaning into discomfort. And watch as you transform into the person you were always meant to be. Lesson 3. Build the habit of consistent effort. Key concept. Success is the result of consistent daily effort. Success is rarely a result of a single action or a dramatic leap forward. It's built on the consistent daily efforts that compound over time. The truth is, success is more about persistence than it is about talent, intelligence, or luck. Every great achievement comes from showing up each day, doing the work, and putting in the effort, even when the results aren't immediately visible. This is where most people fail. They expect instant results, or they try to make drastic changes without understanding that success is achieved in incremental steps. The most successful people in the world understand one simple truth. Success is not an event. It's a process. It's a series of small, deliberate actions that accumulate into something greater than the sum of their parts. It's about the habits you cultivate, the effort you put in and day out, and the discipline you maintain when motivation fades. Consistency is the bedrock of any achievement. Building the habit of consistent effort means committing to the process, not just the outcome. It's about showing up, even when you don't feel like it. It's about doing the work, regardless of how long it takes, or how difficult it seems. Over time, the results will come, but they will only come if you remain disciplined in your effort. How to implement. Set clear, measurable goals. Consistency thrives when you know exactly what you're working toward. Set specific, clear goals for yourself. Whether it's a professional target, a health milestone, or a personal development objective, having a clear destination helps keep your efforts focused. Break these larger goals down into smaller, manageable tasks that you can accomplish every day. This turns the overwhelming journey toward success into a series of daily, consistent actions. Create a daily routine that incorporates your goals. Consistency thrives on routine. Develop a schedule that aligns with your goals and commit to it every day. For example, if your goal is to write a book, commit to writing 500 words each day. If it's fitness, dedicate 30 minutes every day to physical exercise. The key is not to overwhelm yourself with massive tasks, but to create a sustainable habit that you can repeat daily without fail. Focus on effort, not results. One of the hardest things to do is to detach your worth and motivation from immediate results. Most people are motivated by the sight of progress, by quick wins and visible achievements. But true consistency comes when you're focused on the effort, not the outcome. Celebrate the fact that you are doing the work every day, regardless of how far you feel from your goal. The process is just as important as the destination. Track your progress and celebrate small wins. To maintain consistent effort, it's important to track your progress, even if it feels incremental. This helps you see that you are moving forward, even on the days when you don't feel like it. Use a journal or a habit tracker to mark off your daily efforts. When you reach a small milestone, whether it's a week of consistent work, completing a certain number of reps, or finishing a chapter of your book, celebrate it. These small victories will keep you motivated and reinforce your commitment to consistency. Push through the days you don't feel like it. On those days when motivation is nowhere to be found, that's when your commitment to consistency will really be tested. It's easy to work when you're inspired, but the true test of character is showing up when you don't feel like it. Those are the days that will define your future success. Learn to push through those moments. Even if you can't give 100% on those days, show up and give something. Give 10%, give 50%, but always show up. Stack your habits. Once you've mastered one habit, build on it. Consistency is not just about maintaining one habit, but also about layering new habits on top of existing ones. For example, if you've built the habit of waking up early to exercise, add a new habit of reading for 20 minutes after your workout. Gradually stacking new habits on top of your existing routine will accelerate your progress and increase your productivity. Be patient and trust the process. The road to success is not fast. It's a marathon, not a sprint. There will be times when your progress seems slow, and you might question whether all your effort is worth it. But remember, success is the result of consistent effort compounded over time. It's like a snowball rolling down a hill. At first, it's small and barely noticeable, but with each day, it grows larger and more powerful. Trust the process and have patience as your efforts build momentum. Consistency over perfection. Don't wait for the perfect moment to take action. Consistency doesn't mean doing things perfectly. It means doing things regularly and making progress, even if that progress isn't always perfect. Perfectionism can paralyze you, keeping you stuck in place. Instead, focus on showing up and doing your best, not on achieving flawless results. Over time, your consistent effort will lead to improvements that no single perfect attempt could ever match. By committing to consistent effort, you're creating a foundation of resilience. You're building the mental toughness that will allow you to keep going when the road gets tough. Remember, success doesn't come from one huge breakthrough. It comes from the daily actions you take, the effort you put in, and the resilience you build when you push through obstacles. Action plan. Define your goals and break them down into smaller, manageable tasks. Create a daily routine that includes these tasks and prioritize them every day. Track your progress, no matter how small, and celebrate your consistency. Push yourself on days when motivation is low and learn to work through resistance. Build on your habits over time, stacking new goals on top of old ones. Trust the process, and remember that your consistent effort is the foundation of success. Consistency is the key that unlocks the door to greatness. By making the daily decision to show up, do the work, and push through discomfort, you will build the momentum needed to achieve extraordinary success. Keep going, even when it feels hard. Keep putting in the effort, because with every step, you're becoming the person capable of achieving what you once thought was impossible. Lesson 4. Stop waiting for motivation. Act first. Key concept. Motivation follows action, not the other way around. One of the biggest lies we tell ourselves is that we need to feel motivated before we can take action. We often find ourselves waiting for the perfect moment, for the right mood, or for the burst of inspiration that will push us to take action. The truth is, this mindset is a trap. Motivation doesn't come before action. It comes after we start. The most successful people don't wait for motivation to strike. They create motivation by simply doing the work, even when they don't feel like it. Think about it. Motivation is a fleeting feeling, like the wind. It blows through, but it doesn't always stay. If you rely solely on motivation to get things done, you'll quickly find yourself stuck in a cycle of inaction, waiting for a feeling that may never come. The secret to success isn't waiting for motivation. It's taking the first step, no matter how small, and allowing action to fuel the momentum that builds motivation. When you take action first, even in the face of doubt or resistance, you break the cycle of procrastination. You create forward momentum that naturally generates motivation, making it easier to keep going. The act of doing is what ultimately drives you to continue moving forward. So, stop waiting for the perfect moment. Stop waiting to feel inspired. Start now. How to implement. Take the first step, no matter how small. It doesn't matter if you don't feel like it or if you think you're not ready. The most important thing is to begin. Start with the smallest possible action you can take toward your goal. Whether it's writing a single sentence, working for 10 minutes, or making one call. The key is to overcome the inertia of inaction. Once you take that first step, momentum will begin to build. Commit to doing before feeling. We often wait for the feeling of motivation to come before taking action. Flip that thinking. Commit to the idea that you will act first, and the feeling will follow. For example, instead of waiting for motivation to start exercising, tell yourself you will work out for just 5 minutes. Often, after you get started, you'll find that you're willing to go longer because action has already started the process of generating motivation. Stop making excuses. We are all experts at making excuses. We tell ourselves that we don't have enough time, that we're too tired, or that the conditions aren't right. The truth is, if you wait for ideal conditions to act, you will never act. The conditions will never be perfect. If you truly want to make progress, you must learn to act in spite of the obstacles. Discipline is about doing the work regardless of your excuses or how you feel. Stop waiting for everything to align and take action with what you have, where you are. Focus on process, not results. Motivation often gets stuck in the desire for results. We want instant rewards and instant feedback to fuel our drive. But this is a trap. Focusing too much on the outcome can make the journey feel overwhelming. Instead, focus on the process, the small actions you can take today. Celebrate your consistency and effort, not just the outcome. The more you focus on showing up and doing the work, the more motivation will naturally follow. Develop a just do it mentality. Sometimes, the best way to overcome resistance is to eliminate the mental chatter that keeps you from starting. The longer you think about something, the more doubts and excuses will enter your mind. Develop a just do it mentality. When you feel resistance, push past it by saying, just do it. Commit to taking action right now, regardless of your emotional state or mental hesitations. Create a no excuses rule. Build a habit of rejecting excuses. Set a rule for yourself that excuses have no place in your daily life. Instead of waiting for conditions to be perfect, decide that every day you will take at least one action, no matter how small, toward your goal. When you remove the option to make excuses, you eliminate the barrier that's preventing you from taking action. Make decisions quickly and commit. Often, the reason we don't take action is that we spend too much time contemplating decisions. We overthink, get stuck in analysis paralysis, and never move forward. Make the decision quickly and commit to it. The longer you wait, the harder it becomes to act. Once you commit to taking action, trust yourself enough to follow through without second guessing. Use momentum to build motivation. Once you start acting, motivation begins to build. You'll notice that the first few steps might be difficult, but once you gain momentum, things will start to flow more easily. The key is to keep moving, even when it's hard. Small victories will add up and motivate you to keep going. Think of momentum as the engine that powers your actions. Without it, you're stuck. But once you have it, the work becomes easier. Example of momentum in action. Imagine you want to write a book, but every day you think, "I'll do it tomorrow." You feel unmotivated to start, so the cycle continues. But one day, you decide to simply write one paragraph. That's it. You don't pressure yourself to write a chapter, just one paragraph. Once you get started, you may realize that you're in the flow, and suddenly you've written a few pages. You started with the smallest action, but it sparked the motivation to continue. The key was starting, not waiting for motivation to come to you. Key takeaways. Take action first. Motivation follows action, not the other way around. Commit to doing, not feeling. Don't wait for perfect conditions. Perfect timing will never come. Act now and adapt as you go. Focus on the process. Motivation grows from consistent effort, not from the pursuit of immediate results. Eliminate excuses. Stop waiting for the right moment and start working with what you have. Develop a no excuses rule. Commit to taking action each day, no matter how small. Conclusion. Waiting for motivation is a surefire way to stay stuck in the same place. The key to moving forward, to breaking free from procrastination, is to act first. The moment you take that first step, you create momentum. And with that momentum comes the motivation to continue. Don't wait for inspiration to strike. Create it yourself by simply getting started. Act now and let motivation follow. Lesson 5. Redefine your self-image through action. Key concept. Who you are today is not who you must remain. One of the most powerful tools you have at your disposal is the ability to shape your self-image. Your self-image is the mental picture you have of yourself, the person you believe yourself to be. It governs how you approach challenges, how you react to setbacks, and most importantly, how you act in everyday situations. Your self-image is the foundation of your behavior and performance. It can either limit you or empower you to reach your full potential. The unfortunate truth is that most people operate with a limited self-image, one that has been shaped by their past experiences, failures, and external influences. Many of us base our self-image on what others think of us, or on our past mistakes, rather than on the limitless potential that exists within us. But here's the liberating truth. Your self-image is not fixed. It is not permanent. It is something that you can redefine at any moment. Every action you take, every step you take toward your goals, is an opportunity to reshape your self-image. You don't have to wait for external validation or approval. You can begin right now, through consistent action, to redefine who you are and what you are capable of. You can transform your self-image by proving to yourself, through action, that you are capable of achieving greatness, no matter where you started from, or what limitations you may have believed you had. How to implement. Start with small actions that challenge your self-image. If you have a limiting belief about yourself, like thinking you're not disciplined, capable, or talented enough to achieve your goals, start proving that belief wrong through small actions. For example, if you think you lack discipline, take a small step to challenge that. Maybe it's committing to wake up at 5 a.m. every day, or it's sticking to a fitness routine for a week. With each small action, you will begin to rewrite the story you've been telling yourself about who you are. Take on challenges that force you to grow. Redefining your self-image requires you to step outside your comfort zone and take on challenges that stretch you. Whether it's taking on a difficult project at work, entering a new field, or starting a business, putting yourself in situations that push you beyond what you thought you were capable of will force you to reassess who you are and what you're capable of. Every time you succeed at something that challenges you, your self-image will grow stronger, more confident, and more resilient. Visualize the person you want to become. Visualization is a powerful tool for reshaping your self-image. Close your eyes and imagine the person you want to be. The version of yourself who has already achieved the goals you're striving for. Picture yourself succeeding, feeling confident, taking on challenges with ease. As you visualize this version of yourself, begin to embody that image in your actions. Start making decisions and taking actions as if you are already that person. Your self-image will begin to shift as you consistently take on the role of the person you aspire to be. Challenge your inner critic. Most of us have an inner critic, those negative voices that tell us we're not good enough, not capable enough, or that we're not worthy of success. These voices are rooted in your current self-image. The key to redefining your self-image is to challenge and silence that inner critic. Instead of accepting these negative thoughts as truth, confront them with positive affirmations and evidence of your capabilities. When you hear that voice telling you, "You can't," respond with, "I am capable, I am worthy, and I am taking action today to prove myself wrong." Over time, the inner critic will become weaker, and your new, empowered self-image will take root. Create new habits that reflect your desired identity. The key to changing your self-image is to make sure your actions reflect the person you want to become. If you want to be seen as disciplined, create daily habits that reflect discipline. If you want to be seen as a leader, take leadership opportunities, even if they scare you. The more you act in alignment with your desired self-image, the stronger that self-image will become. Consistency is the key. With every new habit you adopt, you reinforce the identity of the person you are striving to become. Use positive self-talk to reinforce your new identity. The way you talk to yourself matters. Your thoughts influence how you see yourself and how you perform. If you want to redefine your self-image, start by changing the language you use about yourself. Stop saying things like, "I'm not good enough," or "I'm too weak to succeed." Instead, tell yourself, "I am capable of achieving anything I set my mind to. I am strong and resilient," or "I am always growing and improving." This positive self-talk will create a mental foundation for the new, empowered identity you are working to build. Surround yourself with people who support your new image. The people you spend time with have a significant impact on your self-image. If you are constantly around people who reinforce your old limiting beliefs, it will be difficult to break free from that mindset. Surround yourself with people who believe in your potential, who challenge you to grow, and who support your goals. These people will help you see yourself through a more empowered lens and encourage you to become the best version of yourself. Measure your progress. As you take consistent action, it's important to measure your progress. Track your achievements and reflect on how far you've come. This will help reinforce the fact that your self-image is indeed shifting. When you look back at your progress, you'll realize that you've become someone new. Not because of what others think of you, but because of the actions you've taken and the person you've decided to become. Be patient with the process. Changing your self-image takes time. It's not an overnight transformation. It requires consistent action, belief in your potential, and a commitment to growth. Don't get discouraged if things don't change immediately. Understand that as long as you continue to take action toward your goals, your self-image will shift. Trust the process and stay committed to becoming the person you aspire to be. Example of self-image transformation. Consider someone who believes they're not good with money. Their self-image is rooted in the idea that they'll never be financially successful. To change this, they could start by taking small steps, like creating a budget, saving a certain percentage of their income, or learning about investing. Each time they take action in alignment with a more financially responsible identity, they start to see themselves differently. Eventually, this person no longer sees themselves as someone bad with money, but as someone who is financially disciplined, capable of making sound financial decisions. Key takeaways. Your self-image is not fixed. It is shaped by your actions and beliefs, and you can redefine it at any time. Challenge your limiting beliefs. Identify areas where your self-image is holding you back, and actively work to change those beliefs through action. Act as if. Begin embodying the person you want to become by taking actions that align with your desired self-image. Create habits that reflect your new identity. Consistent, positive habits will help reinforce your new self-image. Use positive self-talk to reinforce change. Your inner dialogue influences your behavior, so speak to yourself as the person you're becoming. Conclusion. The power to redefine your self-image is within your hands. By taking consistent, purposeful actions that align with the person you want to become, you can reshape who you are. Your self-image is not a static portrait. It is a living, breathing reflection of your daily choices. The more you act in alignment with your true potential, the more your self-image will evolve. Don't wait for others to define you. Take the reins and create the identity of someone who is capable of achieving anything they set their mind to. Your future self is waiting for you to step into your power.